Hi student, I'm back again with a new topic today. We are going to see hydrocarbon, and in case of hydrocarbon we are going to see aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, so we are going to discuss question based on aliphatic hydrocarbon. So let's begin with it. Okay student, let's see a very important question and very interesting one. It says the synthesis of 3-octane is achieved by adding a bromoalkane to a mixture of sodium amide and an alkyne. The bromoalkane and alkynes respectively are. Now, you can actually solve it and get the answer by writing the equation, or you can logically also think and get the answer. Now how? First let's see logically, and then we'll see how we can write the equation and get the answer. The first thing what you should remember is I wanted 3-octane. Now when any reaction will take place, this acidic hydrogen will be replaced by this whole group. So just imagine if this H gets replaced by this group, then in that case your answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 carbons. And you wanted what? 3-octane. So this can't be your answer. This can't be your answer because it gives you 9 carbon. So option A is gone. Coming to option B, imagine this acidic hydrogen is replaced by this group. Then in that case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are getting 8 carbon. But the only problem will be if you place it here, if you place CH2, CH2, CH3 here, it will give you 4-octane, which we don't want. We want 3-octane. Understood? Now, if I take the next one, this acidic hydrogen, if I replace it by CH2, 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 CH3 group, it will give you 8 carbons. But then in that case, it will be 2-octane. We want 3-octane. So, your B, C cannot be. What about D? Let's see. If we replace this hydrogen by all this group, then in that case, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 carbon. And on the third carbon will be the triple bond. So your answer is D. D is the correct answer. Now let's see how we can write the equation and get it. Okay? So the solution for this will be, first we take the alkyne CH3, CH2, C, triple bond CH, and treat it with soda amide NaNH2. When you treat it with soda amide, this hydrogen, acidic hydrogen, moves out and go out with NH2 as ammonia gas, and sodium ion will get attached here. Okay, sodium will get attached here. Now the next step, CH3, CH2, C, triple bond C, Na, treated with Br, CH2, 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 CH3. In this case, NaBr will come out. So NaBr goes out, and what you get here is CH3, CH2, C, triple bond C, CH2, 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 CH3. Now just have a look at it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 3-octane which you want. Okay, so this is how we can either write the equation and get the answer, or logically we can think and get the answer. So your option D is the correct one. Okay, now we go for the next question. The reagents for the conversion forming ethyne is, will it be alcoholic KOH? Will it be alcoholic KOH followed by sodamide, aqueous KOH followed by NaNH2, or zinc with methyl alcohol? Which reagent should we use it? So let's see how we can get the solution for this. Solution is, first let's write this equation. It is like this: C, single bond C, Br here, we have H, 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 O, here again there is a Br and this is H. Okay, now what you do is, first thing you use alcoholic KOH. Alcoholic KOH. When you use alcoholic KOH, what will happen is, the Br will come out from here, H from here will go out, this Br will go with K forming byproduct KBr, this H will go with OH forming water. What you get is a double bond here. So you get H, H, a double bond C, H, Br. Bromoethene, you get bromoethene with alcoholic KOH. Now what you do is, treat this with soda amide, NaNH2. In that case, again Br will come out from here, H will come out from here, this Na will go with sodium forming NaBr, and this H will go with NH2 forming ammonia, and what we get is ethyne. So we get ethyne. That's what we want. So the reagent which is required is alcoholic KOH and soda amide. Okay, soda. So your answer is B, which is the correct option. Now let's see this very simple question. Aluminium carbide, Al4C3, on hydrolysis yield. Aluminium carbide is an inorganic compound, and from this inorganic compound we want a gas on hydrolysis. So let us see what will happen if we do hydrolysis of aluminium carbide. Now Al4C3 on hydrolysis, heating it, we get aluminium hydroxide. Along with that, it gives you an organic gas, methane. An inorganic compound produces organic compound. Let's balance it. 12, okay, then 4 and 3 here. Let's see if it is balanced. 4 aluminium, 3 carbon, 3 carbon. 12 2s are 24 hydrogen, 4 3s are 12, and 4 3s are 12. 12, 12, 24, oxygen is 12, 4 3s are 12, perfectly balanced. So the gas which comes out is methane. Okay, so an inorganic compound giving you an organic gas. So your option B is correct for this question. Okay, chalo, let's go to the next question now. Calcium carbide undergoing hydrolysis to give you X. This X on ozonolysis gives you formic acid, 2 moles of formic acid. X is, you want X. So let's see. The solution part of it, calcium carbide, Ca C2 can be written like this. Hydrolysis, taking two water molecules, can be written like this. Heating it, so what you get here, your X is ethyne, acetylene. You get ethyne. This is your X. Along with that, the byproduct coming out is calcium hydroxide. So your X is ethyne. Now, further ozonolysis is giving you formic acid. How is that? So, you take your acetylene, ozonolysis, in presence of organic solvent, you get an intermediate product. This is intermediate product which further hydrolysis, acidic hydrolysis in presence of zinc. This is your X. This intermediate further will give you two molecules of formic acid on further oxidation and hydrolysis. Okay? Further oxidation. So, your X is ethyne. Your X is ethyne. So, the option here will be C2H2. Okay? Fine. So, we go for the next question now. What will be the product formed when 1-bromo 3-chloro-cyclobutane reacts with 2 equivalents of metallic sodium in ether? Now, the word itself reveals the meaning. This is actually Wurtz's reaction. So, let's see the solution part of this. Now, this is Wurtz's reaction. In case of Wurtz's reaction, we take 1-bromo 3-chloro-cyclobutane. Cyclobutane. Okay, 1-bromo 3-chloro-cyclobutane treated with 2 equivalents of sodium metal in presence of dry ether. Dry ether. What will happen? One Na will go with Br, other will go with Cl. So what we get is a product along with 2 NaBr, sorry, it will be 1 NaBr along with NaCl. Okay, now what is the product? What is the name of this product? It's a bicyclo compound. So bicyclo. Now this is the bridge carbon. So 1, here also 1 carbon. There is no carbon on the bridge. 0. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So butane. So it is bicyclo 1,1.1.0 butane. So your option D is the correct answer for this question. Okay student, let's have a look at this question. A very interesting one. Isomers of hexane based on their branching can be divided into 3 distinct classes as shown in the figure. The correct order of the boiling point is, now boiling point. You know, with respect to boiling point in any chapter, the main reason for increase in boiling point is, first, should have hydrogen bonding, Main reason is hydrogen bonding. In the absence of hydrogen bonding, then you see the one which do not have branch, lesser the branching, more the surface area, more the boiling point. So branching decreases, branching of an alkane decreases surface area. It will decrease the surface area. The more the branches, it will decrease the surface area, therefore decreases boiling point. Now look at the option given to you, 1, 2 and 3. Tell me, in which case there is no branches? Can you see here? Third one, there is no branches. So it is the third one which will have the highest boiling point. Then among these two, this one has less branches, whereas here there is more branches. So it will be 3, 2 and then 1. So this is the order of the boiling point. So your option is 3 will have more boiling point than 2, then 1. So your answer for this question will be B. B is the correct option. Okay. So now we go for the next question. 2-hexene gives trans 2-hexene on treatment with. Now these are all reducing agents. That means hydrogenation of hexene will take place to give you hexene. From triple bond, it will become double bond. And you want trans. So the solution for this will be six carbon. You wanted 2-hexene. So triple bond here. This is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So this is 2-hexene. Now you wanted trans. Who will give you trans? This is trans. You wanted trans 2-hexene. You wanted trans 2-hexene from triple bond becoming double bond by hydrogenation. So among this, which is the reagent which you will select? Now for this, lithium with ammonia. Lithium with ammonia will give you trans. What about others? Now, if you take 2-hexene and you treat it with platinum with hydrogen, it will give you N-hexane. It will further hydrogenation of this will take place till it becomes saturated. So it will give you N-hexane. Whereas when you take palladium with barium sulfate, it will give you cis 2-hexene. What about lithium aluminium hydride? No reaction, no effect, no reaction. So your answer for this question is B, lithium ammonia. Let's see this question now. 1 mole of a symmetrical alkene on ozonolysis gives 2 moles of aldehyde having molecular mass 44. The alkene is, now you want an alkene which on ozonolysis will give you an aldehyde whose molar mass is 44. See what they have done. They have given you a very important hint. And what is that? It is symmetrical alkene. What is the meaning of the word symmetrical alkene? Same number of carbon on both the side of the double bond. Same number of carbon on both the side of the double bond is called symmetrical. Now look at the options. Look at the options very carefully. Option A is propene. Now if you take propene, is it symmetrical or unsymmetrical? It is unsymmetrical. Unsymmetrical alkene. So this cannot be your answer. So option A cannot be your answer because it is unsymmetrical. Okay. What about B? 1-butene. 1-butene. This is again unsymmetrical. It is again unsymmetrical alkene. So this cannot be your answer. So B is also ruled out. B is also ruled out. What about butene? Butene. This is butene. Yes, it is symmetrical. This is symmetrical. This is symmetrical alkene. What about ethene? Ethene is also symmetrical. Ethene is also symmetrical. That means your answer will either be, the answer may be either C or D. It cannot be A, it cannot be B. So out of these two, now a very important hint, very important hint. Now whenever we say ozonolysis of alkene, what you do is, wherever is the double bond, you break it. Break the bond. Now when you break it here, if you break this butene, it will be broken from here. After breaking this, you do one thing, put a double bond O on both the side. So this is the aldehyde which you get it from butene. Whereas if I do with ethene, I break it from here, then in that case, this is the aldehyde which you get with respect to ethene. Now, look at this. This is the aldehyde which you get it after breaking ethene. Now, they want an aldehyde which should have molar mass 44. Now, check it out. Out of these two, which has the mass of 44? Let's see this part. There are 2 carbon, 12 plus 12, 24. 24 plus 16 is 40. And 3 plus 1, 4 hydrogen, 44. 44. So your answer for this is C, which is the correct one. Answer is C and not ethene. Okay? Everybody understood this? Great. Now let's go for the next question. Cyclohexene on ozonolysis followed by reaction with zinc dust and water gives a compound E. Compound E on further treatment with aqueous KOH yields compound F. Compound F is, very interesting question. Now if you see very carefully, this is your cyclohexene. Ozonolysis in presence of zinc dust and water. Now when you do ozonolysis, dissociation will take place from here and we will get aldehyde part, C double bond OH. We get aldehyde part. Okay, then compound E on further treatment with aqueous KOH. Aqueous KOH. That means it's a strong base. It's a strong base where aldol condensation will take place. Aldol condensation will take place, and further dehydration, removal of water will give you the final product. You will get CH double bond O will be the final product on aldol condensation and dehydration. So your option from here will be A. A is the correct answer for this question. Now student, have a look at this question. HBr reacts with this compound under anhydrous condition at room temperature to give you. Now, if you see very carefully, this compound, which is CH2CHOCH3, oxygen has 2 lone pairs on it. Now, this pi bond can break, the electron can shift in this direction or this direction. So there are two possibilities. Either the electron shifts here, so this gets a negative charge and this will get a positive charge, OCH3. Okay, and the second condition is electron can shift in this direction, so it is CH2 minus, and here will be the carbocation form. Yeah, just observe this very carefully. Now when HBr will break, it will dissociate into H plus Br minus. So in this case the H plus will go here, H plus will reach here. In the second case the H plus will be reaching here. Now just observe this, and the charges will be nullified. Okay, now just observe this. This is the carbocation here formed, minus I effect group destabilizes the compound, whereas this is plus M plus effect which stabilizes the compound. So in this case the Br minus will be more stable when it goes and joins here, okay, as compared to this part. So your main product formation will be this, which is due to plus M effect. Plus M effect, it stabilizes the compound. Carbocation here becomes more stable as compared to carbocation here, whereas minus I effect group destabilizes it. Okay, so your option for this will be, the more appropriate will be D. D is the correct answer for this question. Okay, let's go for the next one now. 2-methyl-butane on reacting with bromine in the presence of sunlight mainly gives. Now let's see 2-methyl-butane. Now when you draw 2-methyl-butane, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2-methyl. 2-methyl butane. Okay. So this is 2-methyl butane. And now we want to know what will be the main product when it is going to be treated with bromine in presence of sunlight. Now just observe it. This carbon is called primary carbon. Reason? It is connected to only one carbon. So this is primary carbon, first degree carbon. What about this carbon? 1, 2, 3. It is tertiary carbon. This is connected to 2. So it is secondary carbon, second degree carbon. This is connected to only 1. So it is primary carbon. Now you all know tertiary carbon hydrogen bond. Tertiary carbon hydrogen bond requires very less energy to break. Less energy is required, minimum energy required to break. So it breaks very fast. So if you are treating with bromine, definitely the tertiary carbon bond, this will break fast. This will break. So one H will combine with Br. So what will go out as HBr, and the next Br will come and join here. So your product obtained will be CH3, CH2, C on the top Br. This will be CH3, this will be CH3. So what should be the name of this compound? What should be the IUPAC name of this compound? Select the longest chain of carbon. Selecting the longest chain of carbon. Numbering starts from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be 2 bromo, 2 bromo, 2 methyl, 2 bromo, 2 methyl, 4 carbon. So butane. So your option will be 2 bromo, 2 methyl butane. So where is 2 bromo, 2 methyl butane? Here. Look at this. 2 bromo, 2 methyl butane. So your answer for this question is C, which is the correct option. Okay, student. Let's see this question now. In the sequence of reaction, C2H4, ethene, is treated with HBr, forming X. X further treated with silver cyanide, alcoholic silver cyanide, gives you Y. And Y on reduction gives you Z. And they wanted Z. What is Z? So let's see how to solve this question. Solution. So first we start with ethene. This is your ethene. C2H4. Now this ethene is treated with HBr, giving you X. So the pi bond will break. When the pi bond breaks, 1,1 valency of both the carbon become free. So at one place H will go, other Br. So you get ethyl bromide as your X. Now this further treated with silver cyanide. So Br will be going with Ag. So AgBr, silver bromide, goes out. And you will not get cyanide. With silver cyanide you get isocyanide. With potassium cyanide you get cyanide. But with respect to silver cyanide you will get isocyanide. So you will get CH3, CH, H, you get NC. That is ethyl isocyanide. This is called ethyl isocyanide. Now you do reduction. Reduction of ethyl isocyanide. Reduction. With hydrogen nickel, you are going to go for reduction. Now when you do reduction, what will happen? you will get CH3, then this will become CH2, okay, and here it will become CH3 and H. You get secondary amine. Now how do you name this? Select the longest chain of carbon. So this is your longest chain of carbon. To N methyl group is attached. Selecting the longest chain. So it is N-methyl. N-methyl. Okay. And 2 carbon. So N-methyl ethanamine. So the name of this compound after reduction is N-methyl ethanamine. So your option A is the correct option for that. Okay student, with that we end the topic for today. We'll be meeting again with a new topic with some new interesting questions. Till then, stay safe, be happy, work hard. Okay, see you in the next lecture.